Say goodnight. What are you doing?
Trying to get drunk.
What are you doing? Oh, gross. Hello, YouTube. So, today has been a rather good day, I have to say. I was just hanging around the house and I did dishes and cleaned up the house for Mom and Dad to get home. So, they got home around 1:30ish or whatever, but anyways, I cleaned up the house and got everything all situated and ready, and yeah, it's a pretty good day. Pretty good day. Alright, so there's something someone asked me last week, and it's about depression. Depression is something I believe that everybody in the transgender community has to deal with at some point. For me, for most of my life, I was really depressed. And I coped with this by not being in my own mind, is a way to say it. As in, I played video games, I read books, and I played role-playing games. Yes, I'm talking Dungeons and Dragons, rolling the dice. I'm someone else, and I'm not myself. That's how I coped with it. And there's these games like the multi-user dungeons that I used to play, and these were role-playing games on the internet where you could type and read and be whoever you wanted to be. It's sort of like the MMOs like World of Warcraft and stuff like that today. In general, I concentrated on being someone else. My whole life I concentrated on being someone else, and so long as it wasn't me. Because being me was something that was going to be hard and something that I was going to have to work at. And I didn't want to do that, and I felt that I would be ridiculed because of how I felt inside. Eventually I came to terms with that and figured out what all this confusion and everything was in my head about being transgender. I didn't know what it was until I was about 24 years, 25 years old. I knew how I felt, but I didn't have words to put it to. Because I knew there were transsexuals that I thought were only porn stars. And that confused me. And I didn't want to be a porn star. Like all you that are trans out there, I just wanted to be the opposite gender that I was born. Or transsexuals. I think I said transgender people, but that's what I wanted. I just wanted to be able to express myself in the way I felt, in the way that I felt. And that's what I eventually did. But I avoided depression. I avoided it by avoiding being myself. Although this is a good coping mechanism, I don't believe if I could do it all over again, I would go through the harsh realities of life. I would tell people, I would rather be myself and have people hate me than sacrifice my life, because that's what I feel I did. I feel I sacrificed part of my life by this hiding. I did terrible in school. I feel that I had all the opportunities to be really great in school, and I had all these opportunities, and I totally just dismissed them, and I shouldn't have. I relied on these video games, I relied on books, and these were fiction books where I could be someone else, and it didn't help. In real life, it didn't help me whatsoever. But I have to say, maybe it did help as far as learning computer skills. That's probably the only thing it really helped with. But as far as doing math and science and schoolwork and English and all this stuff, it didn't really help. I just, I think facing the harsh realities is something I would have done. But it's not always an option for everybody. And I think you can actually hurt yourself if you are trying to be yourself and people don't recognize it. Because you may have to forcefully wait. And that's life sometimes. Whenever I was at school, every one of my teachers, as I was going through school, would call me a daydreamer because I was putting my mind somewhere else other than where I was at, what I was doing. It was one of my coping mechanisms. Often, even now, I'll just stop and I'll stare at nothing and I'll get extremely depressed because I feel that there's so much life that I missed out on by droning away. And I'm trying to make the best of what I have and the help I'm getting from people around me. And it's difficult. It's hard for me to pull myself up every single day, even now, and get up and try to work at doing everything or anything. Some days I'll just get up and I'll drone. I'll leave. I often, like I used to, I'll just leave. I just leave my mind and body elsewhere, and I put my mind somewhere where I'm reading something or just away, anywhere but my life and dealing with myself. Sometimes when I do find myself thinking about my life and finally finding something that I feel like I want to do, I'll get really depressed and just don't and think of all the negative things that could or happen, and I just get really down about myself, and it's hard. It's really hard to cope with that. And some days I don't want to live. I don't want to do anything. I feel like that I don't deserve life. You have to focus on positive things, and I try. But the number one positive thing you can even think of is being born. Think about that. Think about that 1,000,001 chance you had as a little sperm to swim up that little thing and into that egg. You're the only one that made it, the strongest. 1 in 1,000,000, possibly millions of a chance to make it into this world. Everybody that's living as a born human amongst us is a winner. So in the end, I want you guys just to know that you're not the only one out there that's depressed. I'm one of them. And yeah. In the end, I think you should try to focus on the positive things. Because it's those positive things that's going to get you through. Because without these positive thoughts and actions, then there's no way you're going to get through this transition, this life. So if you have someone that supports you, that's a very big positive thing. If no one in your family supports you, not a single person, then a positive thing in all of that is that you get to move out when you're 18 and you can go find people that are positive and surround yourself with those people. Because if they don't support you in your life and in your what you're going to have to do, then you don't need those people around you. Oh, sorry, this is some heavy stuff, but I needed to get that off my chest because it's really tough for me as well, and I get depressed really often. And I know you guys don't see it because I smile a lot, and I'm trying to keep positive. And smiling is one way to do it. But I need to go to bed since it's 2:30 in the evening, morning. But stay positive, and lots of love from me, and a smile. I can't not smile and say goodnight. So have a good night.